I had to order mine on the internet long ago, and they've been able to afford it now for a while.
Well, check with your health food store close by. They may or may not have it. But you have to ask for apricot seeds, not B17. They don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, well, it's hard to eat that many apricot seeds. You can get it in a concentrated pill form through the internet.
The recording has started.
Hello, Mike from Alabama. Hey, Mike, how are you?
Hello,
I'm fine. How's everybody else?
Hello,
Good.
how you doing?
Good, thank you.
Oh, we're looking for B17 on the internet sooner or later to kill cancer because it comes from the bitter almond seed, and it's very bitter trying to eat that many seeds. Just find the concentrated pill.
Anybody else want to say hello? Wow. Wow.
Welcome,
Hey.
everyone. We're on
Hello, Charles from Michigan, checking in.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hi, Karen from Florida. Y'all have to be able to let everybody have something to say. Hi, good afternoon, good evening, everyone.
Welcome to the
Good evening, everyone.
Hello, everyone. Hello, James from California.
Hello.
Great from Florida. Pete in Michigan.
Hey, Pete.
Diane from West Virginia. Hello there, Virginia. Welcome.
Sandra from Florida.
Welcome.
Florida, you got
Charles from Virginia.
Hello, Virginia.
West Virginia.
Hello, West Virginia.
Hello, I'm from Buffalo, New York.
Hello, Buffalo.
Hello, how are you guys?
Got any wings?
Boy, everybody's exhilarated tonight.
Yes, we are. We're in the sea of you tonight.
Q&A session has started. To ask your question, please press *6.
It's too loud. Gee. Wow, that's some energy tonight. I'm pumped now. Jeez. Anyway, my name's I think is Charlie Moore, and I'm here with Juanita Heckel, and this is the Frank R. Wallace Level 3 call. Got an interesting call tonight, as usual, I hope. But let's just, Juanita, how are you today?
I'm doing great, Charlie. I was feeling tired until I heard all the shout-outs, and now I'm excited again.
Well, it's hard, it is a time for everybody to say hello. And then sometimes some people are kind of like hogging the whole thing because they're talking about something which I understand. So that's why I had to cut you off. And when I said, does anybody else want to say hello? Wow. It was like a million people were waiting to say hello. It was like, I take my headphones off.
Yeah.
That's what that time is for. It's hard to hold a conversation on that call. It's not as, the purpose of that first 10, 15 minutes is to let everybody say hello. Everybody just is coming in. They're getting comfortable now. It's always good to hear. That's all energy. And then we do, at the end of this call, we do have a Q&A session after the call if you want to stay on. And then if you have any comments or questions, that's when you ask them then. But we have a lot to cover tonight. Let's talk about the Reach Out program. It's interesting when you talk to people sometimes, and this one lady was kind of new that I talked to today, and she's really anxious to get started with this. She's read like the first 3 books already. She just got book 4, and she's already read the first 3. And I said, cover to cover? She goes, yeah. I said, wow. All right, I'm impressed. I don't hear that too often. But she says, how do I reach people here? She's, and so I told her about the Reach Out. She's so excited to do that. The Reach Out, we have to start. this is where you can get some great conversations going. Is when you talk to fellow near thinkers, and that's got to be happening. You got to, for every 10 people you call, you might only get one person out of that 10 that the two of you kind of fit together, so that you can rely on them being there if you need them or if they need to talk to you. That's the purpose of this. The purpose of the reach out program is not to gossip, but not to talk about the AC, talk about neothink or the integrations that you had lately, or I'm having a hard time with this. Do you know how this works or whatever? That's the purpose of these calls. So you have 3, 4, 5 people on speed dial, basically, if you need help. That's what this is all about. So if you want to get on it, or if you are on it, but you want to get more active with it, then just start calling people. They'll call you back, and so work. That's the way it goes.
Hi, this is Big V here. It is Thursday evening. This is the lead call. This is the last final Thursday in August of 2019. We just had a big hot day here in Portland. It was 95 degrees or 98 degrees just the other day. So I just wanted to give a shout out to everyone. And next Wednesday morning will be my social media event. So a lot of these clips, a lot of these videos that you're seeing on my YouTube channel will be getting played next Wednesday morning through next Wednesday night. So we're going to start a whole brand new segment of videos here starting next Wednesday morning. So just wanted to give a shout out and let everyone know this is the lead call. This call probably holds about 200 people now, when it used to run around 500. Then it dropped down to 300. Now it's down to 200. I'm just wondering when the next big drop will be. Anyways, I'll let you enjoy the lead call here, and they're probably going to talk about the event that's coming up in a couple weeks. So listen to this. They're just giving the same old updates and information as always. The outreach program. If it benefits you, so be it. To each your own. That's my way of looking at it. All right, here we go.
I do have Sage here, and I want to call him up, and I also want to call up Karen Abernathy. Hey, Sage, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing great, Charlie. How are
Good.
you?
Good. I'm waiting for Karen to raise her hand.
Awesome.
Karen, are you there?
Hello.
Oh, there she is.
Hi,
Well, I might lose
Sage. Hi,
you.
Karen.
Yeah, I might have lost Sage. Did I?
Uh-oh.
No.
Well, let's not lose
No.
Sage.
No, he's back too. You have to work at a
One or the
different one
other,
here.
just choose.
Okay.
But I want to, but Karen, I want you to talk for just a few minutes. And the reason I'm calling Karen up is she's still fairly new in this society, believe it or not. And last year it wasn't last year was your first. It was your second summit.
March was my second summit. Last September
That's right.
was my first.
First, yeah. All right. Now,
Yeah.
sometimes I just get confused how long people have been here. You went to the first one a year ago, and then you went to the one that we have for
So they're talking about summits. Hold on just a second. This is my chance. On social media, I'm going to be holding a summit, and it's for free. There is no charge for it. I'm holding a summit October 30th through the 31st. It's a Wednesday and a Thursday. And by the way, you can either tune in live or listen to all the replays later. There's going to be a total of 7 sessions happening on Wednesday, October 30th, and 3 sessions happening on October 31st. And it's all free on social media. It's on Facebook. You're all welcome to attend. If you need more information, just send me an email at capital TIGHTS 316@gmail.com, and I will give you the full details on how you can attend my summit that I'm going to be hosting. By the way, a lot of the 12 Visions Party information will be shared during the summit as well, just to give you some heads up on that stuff. That doesn't mean I'm supporting it, but I am putting the information out there. So that's what I'm going to put out there. I'm holding a summit October 30th through the 31st of this year, a 2-day summit. Starts on a Wednesday, starting at 8 a.m. and going all the way through 7 p.m. that night. So, and it's free. You don't have to pay nothing to attend or listen to the replays of the sessions that I hold. So here you go.
Where everybody gets along. Because, we all know family reunions where people don't get along very much. But everybody got along. There was so much energy. Sometimes I had to just go outside and run around the building a couple of times and come back in because it was so overwhelming to me. But I felt like I was at home. And I came back to the second one because I wanted to see my friends. I made some really good friends there. And it's like you knew everybody from forever, when you met them the first time, and it was very stimulating. All the conversations we had and everything, and I grew from September to Well, when I got there in September, I just went around and talked to everybody, like that I'd done it all my life, which I definitely had not. And I had to practice having conversations with people all summer long, but and by March, it was a very comfortable thing to do, to just go and find out everybody's name and their story, and it was something I wanted to do, not something I was trying to push myself to do by March.
So while they're doing that, I'm going to give you the information about my summit that's happening October 30th through the 31st. It's a 2-day summit. It's all free, though, so you can attend my summit if you wish on social media. And you can actually see me on the camera, too. This camera is set up a little different tonight as to what I would normally have it. So hold on just a second. They're going to talk about the summit. I'm going to talk about my summit. My summit is a little more cheaper for people that can't afford $200 to attend. So hold on just a second. So, my summit, I want to share my summit with you guys. My summit starts October 30th. There's the list. Wednesday, Thursday. It starts October 30th at 8 a.m. in the morning. There's a session. It's a 1-hour session. And then we have another session at 9 a.m. and it is the mini show that I do. Normally that mini show is starting at 7:30. During the summit, it will be at 9 a.m. Then we have a prime time show at 10:30 a.m. So there's a total of 3 sessions in the morning that will take place, assuming that we'll have a good sized lunch period. Then we're going to come back after lunch at 1:30 p.m. and have an old update show at 1:30. Then at 2:30, we have another session taking place. At 3:30, we have an update number 2 at 3:30 p.m. Assuming after update number 2, there will be a good-sized dinner break. And then we'll come back October 30th, Wednesday night at 7 p.m. for the final night session at 7 o'clock p.m. Thursday, October 31st, it all kicks off with the primetime show at 9 a.m. And then we have a show at 10:30 a.m. called the mini show taking place, assuming we're going to take a lunch break shortly after the mini show is done. Then we'll come back for the final show at 3 o'clock p.m. on Thursday afternoon, October 31st, Halloween afternoon. So there's a total of 10 sessions. It's a busy day on Wednesday. It's a busy day on Thursday. We're going to join the lead call here in in a minute. Hold on just a second. So the society is pushing this summit. I'm assuming that they don't have a lot of people. They may have 20 to 35 people going to it. They're not going to get no more than 50 people going to it. And if they do get 50 or more, I'd be very surprised. But I don't think they're going to get a lot because of the price they're charging for it. I know you have to charge something here in the society, but when you can attend a summit for free and get just as much information off my summit as you can their summit, I don't know why pay $200 when you can be at home watching and rehearing the programs, because those programs will be up for at least a week or two. And so that's my assumption. 12 Visions Party has not been talked about on this Thursday nights as of late. They haven't talked about the calls of what's going on. I know Tuesday night they have changed it. It used to be the Visions call. I don't know if the Visions call is still happening or not. I think that's been changed. I think the whole active membership program has been turned down. So I'm going to find out tonight. After the lead call is over, I'll definitely be asking Charlie more about the active membership program. All right, so that's my word on it. Okay, we're going to join the lead call here in just a few minutes. Hold on.
I'll let you get back to the call, but the details of the event, guys, you've heard it so long, but we're only 17 days away now, so it's coming up so fast. The date is the September 14th, that's Saturday. It's from 9 o'clock to 6 o'clock, and it's planned to the minute. There's stuff, it's jam-packed with information and presentations and people, but then everything that happens after that it's just going to happen, and you got to be there for it. The place, it's at the Marriott, at the hotel right in the middle of the airport. That's One Hotel Road in Newark. The telephone number for tickets, if you want to call for tickets, you can. The best thing is to go to the website first. They're on eventbrite.com. And if you search 2019 Independent Thinkers Summit there, it'll come. Or Independent Thinkers Summit, I think if you type in independent, it's going to be at the very top there. It's a place to select a location. If you put New York or Newark, that even helps it. And they are $200. We flew by the early bird special already, so it's $200 per ticket for the whole day. And you can bring guests. It's only $100 for anybody you want to bring. So bring as many people as you can, as you want to see this information and share this experience with. It's only $100 extra for that. It is for the vendor spotlights. If you have a project or a business or something you want to share with everybody there, we will give you time during the presentations to be up on stage telling people about it, and you'll have a little table also to share any goods or anything there. That's $35 for the vendor spotlight. And the hotels. I heard Juanita, who's so helpful with the whole hotel situation. She said that we've been getting people that have been saying we're booked, we're all maxed out of the room space. We did ask for the hotel for more space, so that should be opening up soon if somebody doesn't have a room yet. Just call us if you're having issues there. The number to call us for tickets, for hotel questions, or just anything, it's 800-997-7970. It's 800-997-7970. And the hotel, if you want to call them, it's 973-623-0006. 973-623-0006. That's the Newark International Airport Marriott. And the price for a hotel room is $119 for the night, and that's a block. It was Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, so it's for the whole weekend. And if we're working on adding more space, I think the Friday night and Saturday nights are booked, so we're trying to add to them all, so there's no runouts. Juanita, the room share, would you like to just...
Yes, say, take a breath.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
I love that.
I have a couple of rooms still available for roommates, for the women. I'm not too sure about the men because they seem to always take care of things right away. So if you want to get a hold of me, because this is something like what Karen was describing to you. We don't want to leave anyone out of getting moving forward in any form. So if you want to get a roommate and save some extra money, because that's what Neil thinks about, we find ways to really work on making and saving money. So call me at 702-521-3170, and there's still a few options open for rooming with someone. So give me a call, and if it goes to voicemail, I will call you back. I'm a couple days behind, but I will get back with you. So my number didn't set. You're welcome, Say.
Go on.
I'm just very excited. I'm very excited about this.
We all are.
And I have to share something because Karen and Charlie hit on something so valuable. And you did too, Sage. You know, it's being in a room or in a hotel with like-minded members. Because it might not be something that Charlie has been saying or I've been saying on these calls, but or Sage or Karen, but you'll meet with other like-minded members and grow new relationships. And Karen knows how I feel, and I know Charlie and you do too. It's like a Christmas to me. This is my Christmas time. So, every moment is a gift in our life here. We're in the sea of you the whole time. And why we keep promoting this, it's about making sure that everyone gets that opportunity to become part of a society like Mark has always put out. Just step in and become part of the sea of you. And I'll give it back to you guys now.
That's awesome, Tanya. Thank you. And we all say it, and everybody who says it, you got to be there. Like Christmas, and I look forward to it. It's so well said. I do the same thing. It's like Christmas celebration, meeting my real family members. My brother was telling me the other day he has his circle of friends, and he feels closer to them sometimes than some of our other siblings. And many people have that situation, and it's like-minded people that you want to be around. And the people at these events, one thing is they're so not bored. And in the AC, I used to see and hear people talk about being bored, and I was like, naturally, I was not really bored that often. There's so much going on, or something to think about always, I felt. And when I meet these people at this event, it's that same thing where they're just they can take a thought and go into it and around it, contribute to it, and create something from it that wasn't there before. And it expands you. It expands your mind, and it'll expand your life, which is why many people got into the society, to expand their lives.
And too, I want to add, yes, Charlie, I want to just say, I'm really going to just keep Charlie on his toes. So
doing a great job.
I can't make it.
Thank you.
I can't make it. I'm busy that weekend. No, we have to. When you hit certain levels here, Karen knows it, Juanita knows it, Sage knows it. I do push people sometimes when I think that they're ready to do something. They might not think that they are. And I have pushed Juanita, and she's responded every time. Karen did the same thing. And that's the people who move forward, because, when I first came here, I just pushed myself, because I don't know what else to do all that whole time that I didn't know anybody. But I got so excited about this. I was feeling so much better about myself. It's amazing what that first year alone did for me, So you got to push yourself. So if you use the reach out program and you start meeting people there, and some of them become like a friend to you, be ready for someone to try and push you to get you to do something more. It's a good way to go through, and then when you handle it, wow, I didn't think I could do that.
Wow.
Just
what you needed. Yeah.
Push yourself, or have someone push you for,
Yes, and I can vouch for you, Charlie. He's pushed me, and sometimes I'm going, he's so fortunate, because he's the only one that can push me like he pushes me, and then I'm like, okay, you better back up for a day or two. but I do respond, because he knows that I go, wow, I need 400 more years at least to learn everything Charlie puts in my life.
Well, see, I'm giving you biological immortality.
Yes, you are.
We all are. Thank you, guys.
So
that's it. And just the number one more time. If anybody has any questions or wants tickets, it's 800-997-7970. It's 800-997-7970. And just call us. We'll get back to you, and I can't wait to see you there.
Yes.
Thanks,
yes, Sage.
Thanks, Karen.
Thank you.
Thank
Can't
you,
wait.
Karen.
Thank you, Karen.
Yep. I'll be flying out 2 weeks from today.
Yes.
Uh-oh.
Oh, I better be ready, huh? She's prepared.
I have to call the governor. We have to shut the borders of New Jersey. Karen's coming.
Yes.
You can't keep me away.
No.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Uh-huh.
That's right. We do have a call to do here, don't
sure that you let me share the recording for anyone that wants to go to the recording first, if I may.
Go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah. The number, and first, before I give the number, I ask some of you to have a pen and paper because I want to welcome the new members tonight.
Okay, thank you. Well, this is probably one of the shortest chapters of either near tech or near thing. Chapter 27. We are in. Is it the 1 key or 2 key? Why am I every week I get confused of what key book?
I believe it's the 2 key that you keep
2
mentioning.
key, right? Yeah.
I'm in the Neo thing or Neotech Discovery, book 4, and it's page 239.
239, right? Yeah.
239.
Yes.
Yes. Chapter 27.
And I'm in the old Frank R. Wallace collection. That's page 239. It's chapter 27. It's called Rise from Your Knees. And it's a real short chapter, but it's got a lot of punch to it. And it's a good example of how we can dig in on something that you don't think there's a lot there, but there is. But he starts it out, Frank R. Wallace, he says, until now, all governments and religions grew from dishonest mythicisms, from earthbound authorities, force, and fraud. Just think about all the things he's covering in that short sentence. All right? There has never been a government on this planet that didn't use force to exist. Understand that. Every government, no matter if you go back 5,000 years or 10,000 years, if there was any political going on back then, it's all done by force. Government couldn't survive without force. So then why do we have them? You know, I mean, it's a good question to make you think. Why do we put up with governments if they have to force us to follow them? Because, you know, they want us to live in that fear. And that's why we have to listen to them. That's why we got to pay our taxes. That's why we have to do this. That's why we have to do that. Because we're afraid of. How many times have you been pulled over by a cop car when you were driving, either for speeding or for something? And then, like, you get all nervous, you know. But that's how they have to do force for us to stay in line. And if you don't think that's true, then why does every government agency have a police force? Every government agency has a police force. So, you know, that's just, you know, but up until now, all governments and religions are on here to basically break us of our natural self-confidence, our natural creativity, our happiness, our pride, all the things that we try to have in our lives, they're constantly trying to break that from us. And most times they're very, very successful. So then he ends up that paragraph and he talks about that Zion will bring dignity with boundless excitement, wealth, and romantic love to every conscious being throughout the universe, not just on Earth, throughout the universe. Because Zion made the universe. So he says, rise from your knees. In other words, stand up. Fight for who you are. We have to stand. We have to disrupt. You have to either disrupt your world, you have to disrupt maybe the AC world, and I don't mean by violence, I don't mean by anything like that, but we have to disrupt it. We've got to come up with a whole new theory on how we should be living. And we have that with the 12 Visions Party. We have it with all of this information that we have in these books. Because we want Zion lives eternally. And at the end of it, he says, Zion is you. And how many believe that you're Zion, that you are a Zion? But this is where I imagine most people who read these couple pages here, and you got to this second paragraph, or the second part of this, and it says, guiltless riches through Zion. And all of a sudden, he's talking about Einstein and E equals MC squared. And how many people just really glazed over that one and went straight to chapter 28? Because, physics and all that, I'm not going to read that. I'm not going to understand that. So I imagine a lot of you have no idea what's in this short little thing. But I looked at it today, and I said, no, I haven't read this in a while. And so I am going to, if you would ever told me that I was going to explain physics to people, I would have told you you were crazy. But anyway, it's not that complicated if you just look at it simply. And he says that energy and matter are one and the same as identified by Einstein. And I think most of us knew this, that the E, the energy can become matter, and matter can become energy. So it's E equals MC squared. Energy and matter can crisscross. But then likewise, thought and things are one and the same as identified by Spinoza. And I had no idea who Spinoza was. So thank goodness for the internet. Which I know I looked him up before, but I forgot who he was. And I just give you a brief summary of who this guy was. He wrote a book called Ethics. And it's a dense masterpiece of sustained argumentative reasoning. He was very much into making things make sense. His books was about this Western philosophy by virtue of direct arguments about the nature of God, the universe, free will, and human morals. The churches threw him out of all kind of stuff. The government was after him all the time. He had a kind of a, he was disrupting what was out there at the time. He was basically, the name of the book that he had was Ethics, Demonstrated in Geometrical Order. He suggests that the format of mathematical style, propositions to lay out his arguments, just as the ancient Greeks mathematicians were doing. And then he used like the basic rules of geometry, and that was different against some of the things that they thought back then. And, he was just basically banned from a lot of things. He was Jewish, and he was even banned from being a Jew. So he looked at things a little differently back then, but he was very strong about it because he was dealing with ethics and morals, and he was taking pride in who he was by doing that. So he came up with part of this equation that we have in the book here. And he was basically saying that non-mystical thoughts, T1, can become all things throughout the universe, and all things, T2, throughout the universe can become non-mystical thoughts. So they can switch over just like energy and matter. So you can have a non-mystical thought, can become all things throughout the universe, and all things throughout the universe can become non-mystical thoughts. What's that really mean, though? That they can switch over just like, like energy and matter. It's kind of like easier to say why they, because energy does create matter, and matter can create energy. So they can crisscross a lot of times, and they both come out to the same result. But when you look at non-mystical thoughts can become all things throughout the universe, well, and then all things, T2, throughout the universe can become non-mystical thoughts. The way that I've taken that is that there's some thoughts out there that we think might be mystical. But yet, in the long run, once we look at it, dig into it, all of a sudden there are true thoughts, and they can become non-mystical. You can change your non-mystical thoughts. You can change your mystical thoughts into non-mystical thoughts. But, by taking something out of that mystic thought, and all of a sudden now it's non-mystical. So it's not that, and then it says here like T1 equals T2K. And the K is the universal constant of Zion. And then he goes into this Del Silvestro equation. And I wasn't sure who he was. So I had to pull him up. And it took a little while to find him. But in fact, the guy's still around now. He's fairly, I don't even know his background, but he has, Franco Wallace put this whole equation, and he got it from this guy. And he was interviewed, and he said, in my equation, T1, and then he has on here, and then he has like in brackets, 1 plus E equals V, which equals the T2 and the K. But the one, in which 1, with the circle behind it, is the degree of intent. And the E is the degree of effort behind the thought. So it's intent and it's thought. So the I and the E affect the V, or the velocity of converting T1 to T2, with T2 being the thought converted to reality. Thus flows the power of Zion. So Zion has an equation, and this is what it is. It's amazing. What did Mark Hamilton always tell us? It's all in the numbers. Everything's in the numbers. Numbers has all the answers. And here, so this is proven that there are Zions. And this is basically, I think, how Frank R. Wallace came up with, he calls it Zion, but this was the formula that he used, as far as I know. So this is a very powerful little short chapter here. It's just that you got to just read it and read it over again and again, and you don't have to understand it all. I don't understand it all. I mean, I could be wrong on something here, but it's what I got out of it today. So he says at the bottom of this, he says, consider this though. Can empty space or vacuums really exist? Or does existence always exist? Everywhere? Is all space filled with the ether of existence, filled with gravity units, the weightless geometry of existence, so tiny with near circulus, seemingly infinite curvature, that gravity, mass, or energy can neither enter nor exit. If that's true, do endless universes exist above and beyond each gravity unit, hiding as pure symmetry between every point in existence? So he's asking us those questions. And again, think of the answers. It's making you think. If you're not sure, go look it up. Regardless of the ultimate answers to these questions, regardless of the answers, wealth and happiness evolve eternally for every citizen of the universe. This universe was put here by Zions. These universes were put together to last forever, because as long as we have consciousness in this universe, we have no end. We truly have no end. If we don't move to that Zion state, eventually the universe will die out. And we learned that in the Neothink Bible, that 25-piece that Frank R. Wallace put together. And again, we go back to the basis of what we say here. Mark got us to join this by what? The forces of nature. But nature is not supposed to control man. Nature is not supposed to control a conscious human being. Consciousness controls that. So the forces of Neothink will overcome the forces of nature. And here's the proof right here. So it all ties in. This is how you put the pieces of the puzzle together as we go through neotech or neotech. It doesn't matter. They all connect. They really do connect, because you have to look at this, because this is like a page and a half, this whole chapter. That's all it is, all right? And if you're doing what you should be doing, and again, I'm going to do it, I think right after the summit, I think I'm going to do it back-to-back nights, Sunday night, and then if you miss this Sunday night, you can get on Thursday nights, like on this call. And I might do it back-to-back of how to prepare. And I did part of this before. How to prepare yourself before you start reading this literature, how to read the literature, and how to put the pieces together. And it's all laid out here. But you have to also study how the book is laid out. You have to study why they put these chapters in the order that they did. And I go back to that story, and you heard it probably a million times from me, is when me and Steve Fagan, way back, and we did our first workshop, and it was on the mini-day schedule. And it was the first time that we ever did a workshop. So Steve wanted me to open up the workshop that Saturday morning. And we had 20 people there. But I'm trying to think of something to wake them up. And I said, I got to ask them a question right up front. And it took me, I think it was either 2 or 3 days before we actually had the workshop. And I said to him, and back then, we weren't getting Miss Annabelle as the first book. We were getting The Inside Secrets, which had Frank Wallace in it, and Mark Hamilton in it, and Tracy Alexander was in it. It was I still think it's the best book that they ever put out. And that's what we started out on. So I said to him, out of all the things that Mark could have put in The Inside Secrets, why do you think he put the mini-day schedule first? And that was a breakthrough for me to come up with that question. Because then I started to realize, when I thought of that question, I was thinking, well, wait a minute. Why did he put it first? I had to think about it. And then why did he put this second and this third? And how did they think of the order that they were going to teach us this? It must have took a lot of integrations to say, they must have changed it about 1 million times before they actually put it to print. So when I asked that question, nobody had an answer. I said, well, let's just all think about this for a second. And they all gave answers eventually, and they all could have been right. There was no wrong answer. They all had good answers, but they didn't come up with the one that I did. And I'm not saying that mine was right either, but I was trying to get in Mark's head, And so I finally said to myself, and then I said it to them, I said, the reason I think he put it first is that he realizes it's the most important thing to learn here. If you do many days, you cannot fail. You do many days, you read this information, you put all this information into life, and you put it in your many days every day, you can't fail. I don't know if that's the real reason why he put it first or not, but it makes sense to me. So when you read a chapter like this, it's only a page and a half. So at the end of each chapter, we should be saying to ourselves, do I understand this chapter before I go to the next one? Do I really understand it? If you really don't know, go back and read it again. It doesn't matter if it's 10 pages or a page and a half. Understand what you're reading before you go to the next chapter. And this one's easy because it's only a page and a half. Yes, it has equations on there. Oh, I hate math. Oh, I can't do that. But it's not, just read it a few times just to follow the flow of it. But really, it's the equation for Zion. I mean, that's pretty powerful. At least I think so. Juanita, what do you think?
Yes, Charlie, it's very powerful, this information, and you're right about that. Why would he put the mini day there first? And I like your logical answer, because it only makes sense, because I came on that in that book as well, and I thought that he wanted us to learn his publishing company at first, because I really did. I was really working to figure that out, and I thought, well, why does he want us to learn this publishing company? And it was really an eye-opener for me, because I'm going, okay, yes, because there's some fear factors we all have in our businesses, or even in our daily life, where we want to skip things that we don't like. Well, the mini day ensures that you don't skip anything. You don't miss a beat. So I agree with you on that. And with you, excellent lecture, Charlie, about researching this chapter, because it's only, like you said, only a couple of paragraphs, but they're so full of information and so physics. Who would have thought that we would be working on physics today?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, well, I have to simplify it. With me, I'm not a physicist, and even though I've studied under some great teachers, I'm like, no, I'm not a physicist, but the numbers, you're right about the numbers matter. We focus on the numbers in NeoThink. And the T1, I have to give you a story on me some years back, my first year when I got the Frank R. Wallace literature.